And it is fascinating to me, the level of mismanagement at the end
Right.
of games from coaches. It's crazy to me.
Maybe we could talk about that. Maybe your
Yeah.
top 3 to 5 ways you've seen games mismanaged.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I guess at the top of the list is the misuse of timeouts, or
Yes.
not having timeouts at the end. But I've seen it where, and I've seen some high level programs
Mm-hmm.
call a timeout in a situation where them calling that timeout means their team cannot win the game, and the coach just not understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, and worse still, like your team is down and it's a dead ball already. So the
Mm-hmm.
clock has already stopped and you have one timeout left and you're down, whatever it is, 4 points, and there's 10 seconds left and you have the ball and they call their last timeout. So now the game is over. Like there's barring a technical foul or some crazy infraction, or an intentional foul or something.
But I will say, not all players know that the clock continues to run
Correct.
after the basket goes through. And I've seen multiple times
crazy where
they throw it in,
or
you know what I mean? And it's been a turnover.
Correct.
So that's also the coach not explaining to kids,
100%.
Hey, let it go.
Well, what's funny too is, and I've seen this happen a bunch of times where you have in the high school game where the clock operator is not stopping the clock the whole time, and then at the very end of the game they stop it. Where it's like, wait, what are you doing? It's like, this isn't the NBA, because with in college it stops in the last minute, and pros it stops in the last 2 minutes. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that's but yeah, it's just funny, they get like excited too, and then they stop the clock and you're like, hey, what's but it's always interesting, like okay, as far as like timeouts, end of game scenarios, coaches burning through their timeouts and not having them at the end. That is the number one. Like, you don't really need a timeout. And then again, this is the one that just, I've done this to rest a player. Like if I had one key player, but you're going on a run and the coach will call a timeout, the team that is going on the run. And that to me always perplexes me. Why are you giving the other team an opportunity to reset? It just is, it makes no sense. Now, the other thing is, and I'm a big one for this. I didn't do it as much this last year, to be honest, with my JV boys, but I am a big one for bringing or practicing those end of game situations. Really practicing where you're put the clock at 1:30 and then you're down 8 and then you have to play. So that's the other, I think, mistake that coaches make, is they don't practice those end of game situations, and they don't understand, and the players don't understand. So I just think it's super valuable from a coach's standpoint to understand it, to practice it, because it is a practice.
Right. I think one other thing that I've seen, I don't know how many times I've seen, okay, we fouled them, they're on the line. Even if they make or miss, we still have a chance to go back and tie the game. So let's say, for example, we're down, let's say we're down 1. We foul them. They make the first free throw. Okay. Even if they make the second, and we're down 3, we still have a chance. But I don't know how many times I've seen they miss the second free throw. We don't box out.
Right.
They get the rebound, and then you foul them again, and it's essentially over.
Right.
So to me, another mismanagement or sort of mistake coaches might make is maybe not putting in their big to get the rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
subbing offense, defense.
To
be honest, I feel like that's something I just in the last year have finally gotten better at, because I would be like so caught up in that moment. Also, just also just having that. I've said this before, but as a coach, the speed of the game moves so quickly, and I think when you first are into it, you're moving. The game's moving so much faster than you can process it as a coach when
Mm-hmm.
you first start coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just like, and then the game situation, whatever, it ends up happening. Everything is just like a blur. And then afterwards you're like, whoa, like what just happened? Why didn't I do this or didn't I do that? And then you get to the point where you're coming close to the speed of it. You're processing it faster. I feel like it's a great feeling in the games where you're ahead of the action. And
Exactly.
on but again, I think it really takes a lot of practice. I do think as players who played at a higher level who get into coaching and are serious about it, I think they have an advantage if they had good coaching because I know for me, it took me years. It took me years to really put in the work and get better and be open to it. It's so funny. We tell our players we want them to grow and improve. We want them um, to evolve as players, but then some of the coaches are not trying to get better, are not trying to evolve.
Good point.